वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यम् श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तं तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान्नस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अपारकरुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणम् श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्। यत्कृपालेशमात्रेण पुमान् पूर्णः प्रजायते तं वन्दे ब्रह्मविद्धुर्यं सद्गुरुं चन्द्रशेखरम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणम् तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारम् प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्री दक्षिणामूर्तिस्तोत्रम् ध्यानश्लोकाः। मौनो व्याख्या प्रकटितपरब्रह्मतत्त्वं युवानम् परिशिष्टान्ते वसदृशिखनैरावृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपम् स्वात्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे।
मौनं व्याख्या
व्याख्या प्रकटितपरब्रह्मतत्त्वं युवानम्
वर्षिष्टान्ते
वसिष्ठान्ते वसदृशिगणैरावृतं
आवृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः
आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपम्
स्वात्मा
स्वात्मा
रामं
रामं मुदितवदनं
दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे।
दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे।
पटविटपि समीपे भूमिभागे निषन्नम् सकलमुनिजनानां ज्ञानदातारमारात् त्रिभुवनगुरुमीशं दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवम् जननं मरणदुःखच्छेददक्षन्नमामि
वटविटपि
वटविटपि
समीपे
समीपे
भूमिभागे
भूमिभागे
निषण्णम्
निषण्णम् सकलमुनिजनानां
सकलमुनिजनानां
ज्ञानदातारमारात्
ज्ञानदातारमारात्
त्रिभुवनगुरुमीशं
त्रिभुवनगुरुमीशं
दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवम्
दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवम्
जननमरणदुःखच्छेददक्षं
जननमरणदुःखच्छेददक्षं
नमामि
नमामि।
चित्रं बटतरोर्मूले वृद्धा शिष्या गुरुर्युवा गुरुस्तु मौनं व्याख्यानं शिष्यास्तुच्छिन्न संशयाः
चित्रं वटतरोर्मूले वृद्धा शिष्या गुरुर्युवा गुरोस्तु मौनं व्याख्यानं शिष्यास्तु छिन्न संशयाः
निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणाम् गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः
निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणाम् गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः।
ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः
ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः।
ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः
ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः।
विश्वन्दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतम् पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयन् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदम् श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये
विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतम् पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयम् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदम् श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये।
बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः माया कल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतम् मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदम् श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये
बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः माया कल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतम् मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये।
अस्य द्वितीय श्लोकस्य विवरणम् अस्माभिः गत वर्गेषु दृष्टम्। अद्य इदानीं तत्त्वसुधा टीकायां टीकाकारेण किम् उक्तम् इति पश्यामः। यथा प्रथम श्लोकस्य टीका दृष्टा तद्वत् द्वितीय श्लोकस्यापि। अत्र संबंध टीका अस्ति। विस्तारेण आचार्यः अत्र संबंध टीका आचार्येण रचिता अस्ति। तद् दृष्ट्वा अनन्तरं श्लोकस्य टीकां पश्यामः। इदानीं संबंध टीका। ननु आत्मनि प्रपञ्चस्य अवस्थानं न उपपद्यते तदकारणत्वात् ननु इति आक्षेपः। आक्षेपार्थे ननु बट आत्मनि प्रपञ्चस्य अस्य जगतः प्रपञ्चस्य अवस्थानं स्थितिः न उपपद्यते न युक्ता भवति। किं कारणं? तदकारणत्वात् आत्मा तस्य अकारणत्वात् आत्मा तस्य कारणं नास्ति। ननु इस आक्षेप प्रपंचस्य अस्य प्रपंचस्य जगतः दिस प्रपंचस्य अवस्थानं स्थितिः द एक्सिस्टेंस ऑफ दिस विश्वं दर्पण दृश्यमान नगरी यथा उक्तं पूर्व श्लोके दत् विश्वं जगत अवस्थानं जिस जगतः स्थितिः द एक्सिस्टेंस ऑफ दिस जगत आत्मनि न उपपद्यते न संभवति। इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल। न युक्ता भवति। इट इज नॉट प्रॉपर। That is, the prapancha cannot exist within the Atma. Why he says? Because nijantargatam pashyannatmani mayaya bhagirivot iti purva shloke uktam. Therefore, Purva Pakshi objects, this Vishwam cannot exist within Atma. within the Atma. Because if Atma is the cause of this Jagat, then this Jagat can exist within Atma. Therefore, tad akaranatvat, because Atma is not the cause. Therefore, this Jagat cannot exist within the Atma. The objection here should be understood. We said, Nijantargatam Pasyanatmani Mayaya, this Jagat is contained within the Atma. It doesn't have separate existence. Its existence is like a city reflected in a mirror. We saw in the first shloka. Kshanamati shloka is not easy. So you have to remember all those things. Atma, Jagat cannot be contained in the Atma, cannot exist within the Atma. The hetu, the reason, yataha Atma tasya karanam nasti. The Purvapakshi akshepam kritavan. Why Purvapakshi objects? Not just simply for the sake of objecting, he objects. Yes, yes, something to say. Asya akshepasya kim karanam. Yadi kaschit padartaha loke अन्यस्मिन् पदार्थे तिष्ठति तर्हि तयोः मध्ये कार्य कारण भावः अवश्यं भवति यथा मृत्तिका यथा मृत्तिकायां घटः. So if you say this Jagat is contained well within the Atma, then what should be the sambandha between this Jagat and the Atma? Ekah padartah anyasmin padarte tishtati. तर्हि पदार्थयोः मध्ये कः सम्बन्धः? कार्यकारणसम्बन्धः. यथा मृत्तिकायां घटः अस्ति. घटः is there, मृत्तिका is there. Ghata is contained within the mrit. Before ghatasya utpattehe prag ghataha mrit rupena asit. Therefore, Ghata is nothing but just come from the mrit alone. It is a product of mrit. Therefore, kaha sambandha karya karana sambandha ghataha karyam mrit karanam. That is in the case of mrit and Ghata karya karana karya घटः मृत् कार्यकरण संबंधः भवति. किंतु अत्र अस्मिन् प्रकृत विषये आत्म विषये आत्मा तो शुद्ध आत्मा अविकारी अस्ति. अविकारी आत्मा अपरिवर्तनीयः आत्मा जगतः निर्माणं कथं करोति? How can Atma create this Jagat? Because Atma is avikari. Atma Shuddha doesn't undergo any change. Nityam sarvagatasthanoho achaloyam sanatanaha. Avikari tu tad vidhi. Yenamid idam sarvam tatam. Atma doesn't have any change, doesn't undergo any change. Mrit undergoes a seeming change to become the Ghata. Seeming change. That seeming part is leave it out. That is not the focus here. That is not here. Atma has to undergo change to become the Jagat. But Atma to undergo change. But even the Mritika, Mrit Ghata example, the Mrit undergoes some change. Even though that example we give for Vivarta Upadana Karanam, that the Jagat is just an appearance, Namarupa. That example, same example we give. But that in the example, Mritika undergoes some change, Namarupa. Namarupa also change. But the change, because of that change, it doesn't lose its Rupa. That is different. Here, Atma becoming the Jagat. That Atma, like Amrit, cannot undergo any change. It is Adhikari Atma. So how can Atma create this Jagat? If Atma cannot create this Jagat, Katam Ayam Prapanchaha Atmani Avatishtati Avatishteta, then how can this Jagat be contained in the Atma? Urupakshi says, if something rests inside something, then there must be a Karya Karana Sambandha, cause-effect relationship. But Atma is changeless, nirvikari. And therefore Atma could not have created the world. Then how can the world be existent within the Atma? We cannot say, iti Purvapakshi. Tikakara connects the first shloka with the second shloka. Because in first shloka it is said, therefore Purvapakshi raises the objection. Raising the objection gives an answer so that it becomes very clear. Or we say this Jagat is contained within the Atma. And he says further, Purvapakshi, Tata hi
तथा हि
kim Atma Jagadārambakaha
किम् आत्मा जगदारम्भकः
uta tadakara parinami.
उत तदाकारपरिणामी.
Up to this is objection. And Siddhanti, he answers, Nadhyaha
नाद्यः
ekasya vibhoho
एकस्य विभोः
chidrupasya.
रूपस्य
You have to see very clearly. It is Shakara and Chakara. The printing is like that. Chidrupasya.
रूपस्य.
Can you see Shakara, Chakara there?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Jada prapancharambakatva asambhavat.
जड प्रपंच आरंभकत्व असंभवात्.
Napi dvitiyah
नापि द्वितीयः
niravayabha
निरवयव
nirvikara
निर्विकार
chidrupasya
चिद्रूपस्य
parinama asambhavat.
परिणाम असंभवात्.
Parinama, not parimana. Okay. Tatahi Jagadarambakaha, Jagataha Arambakaha, Jagataha Arambakaha Srashta. Kim iti prashna. Kim Atma prapanchasya asya prapanchasya nirmanam karoti. Uta atava Atma eva Jagat Rupena Parivartate Tad Akara Parinami. Iti Purvapakshi himself is giving option. Which one of this you tell me? Does the Atma create the universe, or the Atma itself transformed into the form of this Jagat? Tatahi. That is Purvapakshi himself explained Tatahi, saying, because he said Atma, this Jagat cannot contain within the Atma. Why we say, if it is, then we have, then he says, Tahi, Tasya Vivaranam Etavat Bhavati iti, Kim Jagataha, Kim Atma, Jagataha Arambakaha, Samsarasya Atma Nirmanam Karoti, Va, Atava, Tadakara Parinami, Samsara Rupena Parivartateva iti. So this is two options he is giving. Or we can take this, Purvapakshi says, as an answer to the Purvapakshi, the author says, so, since you said Atma, this Jagat is not contained within the Atma. So, that is because Atma is not the cause of this Jagat. So, there can be only, this is only the possibilities. Either for the Jagat, Atma is the Karanam, Atma created this Jagat, or Atma must have undergone some change to become this Jagat. These two options only you can give. The Acharya, the Tikakara gives the option. These two only. Either the Atma must have created this Jagat, or Atma must have transformed into this Jagat. It means Atma is mutable. Atma is mutable, undergoes change, Vikaravan Atma. These are the only possibility. The options are given to the Purvapakshi that way. And having given, then the Acharya himself says, dismisses, na adyaha, na adyaha. Pratamaha, adyaha is pratamaha. Pratamaha, pakshaha, na sambhavati. The first option, what you gave, or what is possible, that is not sambhavati. That is not possible. First option is ruled out. Na sambhavati. Why? Atma cannot be the creator of this Jagat because Atma ekaha sarva vyapakaha chaitana rupaha Atma. Saha Atma jadasya jagataha nirmanam kartum na shaknoti. How can Atma, which is Shuddha Chaitanyam, can be the creator of this inert Jagat? Jagat is inert. Atma is Chaitana Rupaha, Sarva Vyapi. So how can this Achetana Jagat could have come from the Chaitana Atma? So first, that is the first one that is ruled out. Pratama, Pakshaha, na Sambhavati. So the author is trapping the Purvapakshi. So Pratamaha, Pakshaha, Vicharaha, Atma, Jagataha, Arambakaha. Why Purvapakshi says Atma, Jagataha, Arambakaha, this idea, this option? Because yata Kumbhakaraha Mrittikayaha Gatam Rachayati Tadvat. That is a Drishtanta, yes, Purvapakshi has in his mind. So Kulala is there, Mrittika is there. Mrittika is Jadam, so Mrittikayaha Kulalaha Gatam Rachayati. Therefore, Atma Jagataha Arambakaha, when we say Jagat is Jada, Atma is Chetana. So, therefore, Kulala is Chetana, Mritika is Jada. So, Kulalaha Mritika Yata Gatam Rachayati Tadvata Atma Jagataha Arambakaha. But now, Acharya says that is not possible because Atma Chidrupaha Jagat Jadaha. शुद्ध चैतन्यात् जड़ पदार्थस्य सृष्टिः कथं संभवति? Ulala is there, pot maker is there, and clay is there. Two things are there. Therefore, pot maker can create the pot out of the clay. Clay is the material cause, and the maker is there, pot maker. So, pot maker, the maker can use a material to create a new thing, gata. But like that here, it is not possible. What is there is Atma and Jada. Prapancha is there. Shuddha Chaitanya Jada Padatasya Sritihi Katam Sambhavati. Na Sambhavati. So therefore, it says Ekasya Vibhoho Chidrupasya Jada Prapancharambakatva Asambhavat. Atma Chidrupaha. Atma Chidrupaha. Atma Ekaha. Vibhoho. Boho Vyapakaha. Sarva Vyapakaha. Atma. It is all pervading. Atma. Atma is one and it is all pervading and it is Chidrupaha, Shuddha, purely consciousness of the nature of consciousness, Chidrupasya. Jada, Prapancha, Jada. Prapancha, this Jagat is Jada, Jada Prapanchasya, Arambakatva, that is creating, Nirmanam, Asambhavat, Na Kartum Shaknoti, Atma, Jnana Rupaha, Jagat, Jada Jadaha, Chetanat Jadasya Janma Katam Sambhavati, Atma Sarvavyapi. When Atma is Sarvavyapi, then Atmanaha Bagihi, Anyasya Vastunaha Nirmanartam, Sthanam Eva Nasti. Yatha, the Ulala maker is there and the material clay is there. Clay is located outside. Maker is there. So the maker can use the material, the clay, and create the pot. When we say Atma is Sarvavyapi, there is no place, in no time, Atma is not there. Everywhere Atma is all pervading, Sarvavyapi, Vibhoho, and it is Chidrupa. Jada is Prapancha, Jagat is not Sarvavyapi, and it is not Chidrupa, and it is not Eka, it is many forms having Namarupa, many. So this Jada Prapancha, Atma to create. Then the Atma must create this Jagat where it will create, when Atma is everything. Outside the Atma has to create this Jagat. How is it possible? Atma is Chit, Chaitanyam. This Jagat is Jada. And the Jada, how can it come from Chaitana, Chaitanyam? And there is nothing outside of this Atma. Atmanaha Bhagihi. Jada Nirmanam na Sambhavati. There is nothing outside this Atma for Atma to create something. So therefore, Jagat Arambakaha Atma is not possible. That's the Paksha, Pratama Pakshaha ruled out. Okay, then what is left out? Second Paksha. Dvitiyaha Pakshaha. Napi Dvitiyaha. Second also is not possible. Second also is not possible. What is the second Paksha? Tad Akara Parinami. Ityukte Atma eva Jagat Rupena Parivartate. Yata Dugdam Dadi Rupena Parivartate Tadvat. Atma itself has become this Jagat. Parinami. It undergoes change, Parinama. Like the milk becomes the curd. Second Paksha. That is the Akara Parinami. But that is also not possible. Why? Because for that Parinama, change has to happen. Parivartanam has to happen. Atma tu aparivartaniyaha nirvikaraha. Atma is niravayava, doesn't have any parts. For change, for Atma to change, it must be endowed with the parts. That which are endowed with the parts will undergo change. Milk has parts. Therefore, milk can undergo change to become curd. But Atma is niravayava, it is partless, doesn't have avayava. Therefore, vikarattam na sambhavati. Shuddha Chaitanyam cannot undergo any change to become the mountains and trees, and this Jagat is not possible. Avayava Ragitaha Atma, Nirvikaraha Atma, Shuddha Chaitanyam, Kadapi Jagat Rupena Parivartam na Shaknoti. Therefore, when we both are dismissed, that is, the world, the Jagat is not created, not transformed, then what is left out? Jagat is neither created, Jagat Arambakaha, it means Jagat Srishti. Jagat Srishti, for which Atma creates a Jagat Srishti, or Jagat is the resultant of Atma undergoing change. So Jagat could not have come from Atma because Atma is Ekaha Vibhuhu Chidrupaha Atma. Therefore, Jada Prapanchasya Arambakatva Asambhavat, first choice is ruled out. Therefore, Atma cannot create this Jagat. Second possibility is Atma undergoing change. Into Atma, Niravayava Atma, Nirvikara Atma, Chidrupa Atma. Therefore, Parinama Asambhavat Yata Dugdam Dadi Rupena Parivartate Tadvat Parinama Asambhavat. That Parinama Parivartanam na Sambhavati. Niravayavatvat, Nirvikaratvat, Atmanaha. Therefore, these two are ruled out. Then, so Purva Pakshi, when he said this, Jagat cannot be contained within the self because Atma is not the Karanam. To say Atma is the Karanam, Jagat is created by the Atma, that is number one, or the Atma must have undergone to become this Jagat. These are the only two possibilities to say this Jagat is contained within the Atma. And that also ruling out by saying Atma cannot be the creator of this Jagat because Atma is Chaitana Rupaha and the Jagat is Jadam. And Atma cannot undergo change to become the Jagat, that is also ruled out because Atma is Niravayava, it is Nirvikara, therefore ruled out. Then why don't we align ourselves with the views of Nayayika and Sankhya? That also author says and ruling out. So it's little difficult to understand, but it is interesting. Other darshana also, what other darshana says that we have to understand, and then author dismisses that also. So by saying it, we know Already we have seen Jagatarambakaha na sambhavati, because Jagat is not something newly created. And similarly, its Akara Parinami also not possible. So we have Vedanta has got solution for it. Vedanta, this Jagat is not really created. That is a solution that we know. We are going to see. That is what the shloka says, and previous shloka also. Dakshinamurti shloka. This Jagat is not created, is appearance. Raju Sarpavat. Parinami, Akara Parinami, that is not possible. It is only Vivarta Upadanakar, not really undergoing any change. That is how we explain, Advaita Vedanta, we explain this Jagat doesn't undergo any change like the milk undergoing change to become this Jagat. It appears, Raju Sarpavat, Vivarta Upadana Karanam. Therefore, we can say this Jagat is contained within the Atma. That is the answer ultimately we are going to give, Vivarta Upadana Karanam. But we are understanding the mind of the Purvapakshi. So Nayayika and Vaisheshika, Nayayika and Sankhya, their views also, because they also talk about the Jagat Srishti. So the discussion is on Jagat Srishti, how this Jagat has come. All our inquiry begins with this Jagat. We just, don't take anything for granted. This, our inquiry, spiritual pursuit, the journey begins with inquiry of this Jagat. We don't start with directly Ishvara inquiry. We question this Jagat. What is this Jagat? How it has come? Who is the creator? What is the cause? Creator sitting above the heaven, above the clouds, somewhere in some other place. Did he create this Jagat a particular date and time, day? It does. If he created on a particular day, it means the time exists before the Jagat. How can it be? If time also exists, then space also will exist. All this will lead to contradictions. Therefore, discussing this, all the contradictions, all these will be resolved. Of course, we don't have any contradiction with regard to that Jagat created by some Lord who is sitting above the heaven. That idea itself is not ruled out. But other possibilities, this Atma created this Jagat, or Atma undergoing change. Because that is the notion we have, God, Bhagavan created this Jagat. If Bhagavan created this Jagat, that is how we start. And for that we give a answer also. If Bhagavan created Jagat from the material outside of himself, then where did the material, from where did the material come? It means material was existing parallel to the Bhagavan. Therefore, the material also must be like Bhagavan, it also must be existing eternally. That is what Sankhya says, Pradhana and Purusha. Pradhana is Prakriti. Prakriti and Purusha exist parallelly, both are infinite. And how can two infinite coexist? Then one will limit the other when we say two are infinite. These are the limitations of the other darshana that we will point out. So Pradhana and Prakriti, that is a view of Sankhyas. They are Dvaitavadis, Dvaitavadinaha, dualist. So Pradhana is there existing eternally, and Purusha also. So from the Pradhana, without even Purusha is also not involved in creation. From Pradhana this comes. When Pradhana that is disturbed, the equilibrium is disturbed, then Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, these three which constitute this Pradhana, the Prakriti, will undergo some change and becomes this Jagat. This is how they interpret. Means Atma is, Ishvara is not required. But Ishvara also is there. Purusha is there. It is distinct. It is Chetanam, Chaitanyam, and Pradhana is, Prakriti is Jada. This is Sankhya. And Vedanta, what we say, this Pradhana, what we call Prakriti, doesn't exist apart from Ishvara. The Gita 7th chapter, we saw Bhagavan says, my Prakriti is divided into two parts, Apara Prakriti para prakriti. So para prakriti, apara prakriti. Apareyam itastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param. Jiva bhuta mahabaho edam dharyate jagat. And this is para prakriti. Apara prakriti is अपरा प्रकृति भूमिरापो नलो वायु कम्मनो बुद्धिरेवच अहंकार इति यन्मे भिन्ना प्रकृतिरष्टधा. This prakriti of mind, it is of these eight nature, eight things, bhumi, vayu, etc. So therefore, para prakriti and apara prakriti both belong to Ishvara. This is the view of Advaita Vedantins. That is weak for our view. So, and also to begin with, the understanding that this Jagat is Jada and Ishvara is Chetana. How can this Jada Prapancha can come out of Chetana? In Mundaka Upanishad we have seen, Upanishad has given the example. Ito nanadihi sajate grunate cha. And in that mantra itself, from Achetana, how from Chetana and Achetana, different things are, varieties are possible. The Drishtanta, it is talked about Tata Eva. Okay, that is the answer, but we are not going to the answer now. We are dismissing the objections. Atma Jagataha Arambakaha va na. Atma is not the creator. If Atma really creates Jagat, then only problem will come. If Atma creates this Jagat, where did the Atma created this Jagat? There must be something, some space outside the Atma existing. There Atma could have created this Jagat. That is ruled out. Did Atma undergo change to become the Jagat? That is also ruled out. Because Atma is Nirvikari Atma. Niravayavatva Nirvikari. To undergo Vikara, it must be endowed with parts. Avayava. Avayava Ragitaha Atma. Avayava Ragitasya Atmanaha Vikaritvam Katam Sambhavati. Katam Parinamam Sambhavati. Parinama Sambhavat. Napi Dvitiyaha. Having said that, now Nayayika and Sankhya, their views also will be taken up, discussed, and dismissed. And it's a beautiful discussion. Let us see. Let us read. Tataha
ततः
Nityaha Chaturvidhaha
नित्याः
नित्याः चतुर्विधाः
Paramanavaha
परमाणवः
Jagadārambhakaha iti
जगदारम्भकाः इति
Teshu eva tasya stitihi.
तेषु
तेषु एव तस्य
तस्य
स्थितिः
स्थितिः.
We will read up to the five A2s are given. Up to that we will read. Then I will explain as much as possible today. Yadva
यद्वा
pradhanam eva jadam.
प्रधानम्
एव जडम्
Nityaha chaturvidaha parimanavaha. This is Nayayikas. Anu, Paramanavaha. Now, Ayadva or Sankhya view is given. Pradhanam eva jadam. Trigunatmakam.
त्रिगुणात्मकम्
Jagadakara parinami.
जगदाकारपरिणामी
Tatra eva idam.
तत्र एव
तत्र एव इदम्
Jagat paramartataha.
जगत्
परमार्थतः
Asti.
अस्ति
अस्ति
Nato chidatmani.
न
तो
तु
चिदात्मने
चिदात्मनि
इति नैयायिकानां सांख्यानां वा
इति
इति
नैयायिकानां
नैयायिकानां
साङ्ख्यानां
साङ्ख्यानां
वा
वा
मतम् आशङ्क्य
मतम्
मतम्
आशङ्क्य
आशङ्क्य
so there are two views matam ashankya. Then further we say if it is doubted, that also we dismiss na iti, that we will see later. Now tataha, first let us understand the views of the Nayayika and the Sankhya. What do they say? Tataha, Nayayikas, according to Nayayikas, nityaha chaturvidhaha paramanavaha, and they are jagadārambhakaha iti teshu eva tasya stitihi. So Purvapakshi says either you have to say this, these two are not possible, okay, or you accept this as Nayayika says. What do they say? Chaturvidaha paramanavaha. Paramanu, ukaranta shabda. Anuhu, anu, anavaha. Paramanu, atom. Anu is atom. So the views of the Nayayika, Chaturvidaha paramana. Four paramanus are there. And they are nityaha. Nityaha means they are eternal. And they are jagadārambhakaha. They are the cause of this jagat. They are the creators of the jagat. Iti. Therefore, teshu eva tasya stitihi. Tasya jagataha stitihi. Therefore, this jagat exists in them alone. So, nityaha, when we say vinasharitaha, nityaha, eternal. How many eternals are there according to Nayayika? Chaturvidaha, chatushprakaraha. Four things are there, fourfold. Chaturvidaha, fourfold. Nityaha, vinasharagitaha, padarthaha santi. What are they? Prithvi, ap, tejaha, vayuhu. Prithvi, ap, tejo, vayu, rupaha, chaturvidaha, nityaha, paramanavaha. Paramanavaha ityukte atindriyaha, sukshmatamaha, amshaha, atoms. And there are four types, that is nityaha. Four eternals are there: earth, water, fire, and vayu, air. And these are the jagadārambhakaha. Jagataha utpatti kartaraha. Jagataha arambhakaha, jagadārambhakaha. Jagat utpattiye karanibhutaha, ete eva paramanaha, ete paramanavaha eva. Ataha teshu eva jagat vartate. Tasya stitihi jagataha stitihi ashrayaha tatra teshu eva. Iti, this is Nayayikas. Or Purvapakshi gives another option. Atava, yadva. Either you take this, or atava, you take into account, or you explain this by Sankhya. What do they say Sankhya? Pradhanam eva. Pradhanam eva. That is, Pradhanam is Mula Prakriti. Pradhana. Pradhana and Purusha, these two are there, eternals. And Pradhanam is Jadam. Pradhanam means here it is Prakritihi ityartha. Mula Prakritihi Pradhanam. The word used, technical word, uses Pradhanam. And this Pradhanam is Jadam, and it is Trigunatmakam, Sattva, Raja, Tamo, Gunatmakam, Gunayuktam. So, Treha Gunaha, Sattva, Rajas, Tamamsi, Yasya Tat. Trigunatmakam, Triguna Swarupam, this Jadam, Pradhanam, and they are Jagat Akara Parinami, Jagat Rupena Parinami, Parinamate, the form of Jagat. It transforms in the form of this Jagat. So when it is said, then where the Jagat to be Prakruto Vyeva, Pradhana Yeva, Idam Jagat Asti. So where do this Jagat exist? In this Pradhanam only, because Jagat is Jadam and it is Trunatmakam. Jagat also Jadam, Trunatmakam. Therefore, there is a cause and effect relationship. Jagat Akara Parinami. This Trunatmakam Jadam, this Pradhanam alone undergoes change in the form of this Jagat. Like the curd becoming Dugdha, the Dugdha becoming the Dadi, Tadvata, Parinami, undergoes change. Therefore, Jagat exists where? In the Pradhanam only, not in the Atma. Natu Chidatmani. Tatra eva idam Jagat Paramatataha asti. Kutra Pradhana eva Prakrityam eva. In Prakriti only Paramatataha asti. Idam Jagat asti. Natu Chidatmani. So what we say Atmani, that is negating. The author wants to, the Purva Pakshi wants to question that. Vijantargatam Pashyan Atmani Mayaya. That is objected by all this discussion. So previously, the two things is we say that he dismissed. I mean, Purvapaksha objected, not dismissed. I mean, Purvapaksha objected. We are going to dismiss it. Now, having said the first two views, view is Atma cannot be the creator of this Jagat, and for that he gave the reason. Atma could not have undergone change and become the Jagat, that also he had given change. And Nayayikas, by saying that, by saying the first two, he says Atma, the Jagat is not contained within the Atma. Now, the next thing is Nayayikas. They say this Paramanu, Paramanavaha, they are Jagadarambakaha, therefore Jagataha Sitiki Kutra Vartate, Teshu Eva, not in Atma, Natu Chiratmani. And Sankhya also, if you take Pradhanam Eva as a Jagataha Karanam, Jagat Akara Parinami Pradhanam Eva, Ataha Jagat Kutra Vartate, Tatra Eva, Pradhana Eva, Prakrityam Eva, Natu Chidatmani, not in the Atma. So Pashyan Atmani Maya, that is being objected by the Purva Pakshi. Iti Nayayikanam, Sankyanam va Matam Siddhantam Ashankya objecting by presenting the Nayayika views and Sankhya views. Therefore, in four ways, the Purva Pakshi objecting. So, four kinds of Paramanus, and they are eternal. They are the cause of this Jagat, and therefore Jagat exists in them alone. Nayayika. Nayayika, this is. Sankhya is Pradhana, which is Jadam, insentient, that is matter, which is Trigunatmakam. That becomes this Jagat, transform into this Jagat. Therefore, where does this Jagat exist? In Pradhana alone, Prakriti alone, not in the Atma. So, iti Nayayikanam Sankyanam Atam Ashankya. Expecting such objections from the Purva Pakshi of the Nayayikas and Sankyas. For that, now we have to answer. The author answers. So, four objections. Among the four objections, first two itself we can take it as answered by the Purva Pakshi. First is not possible, second is not possible. Therefore, either you have to accept the view of Nayayika or Sankhya. So, we don't have to worry about the first two because it is already Purva Pakshi himself, he can take like that. He himself has dismissed, having raised, and he himself has said it is not possible. Now, what is left out is this Nayayika and Sankhya. And that we will dismiss. How do we dismiss? And here, beautiful points are given by the Siddhanti. Na tavat
न तावत्
paramanvarambhavadaha upapadyate
परमान्वारम्भवाद उपपद्यते
niravayavanam
निरवयवानां
tesham
तेषां
sarvatmana
सर्वात्मनां
संयोगे प्रतिमानुपपत्तेः
संयोग
संयोगे प्रतिमानुपपत्तेः
न तावत् paramanvarambhavada upapadyate. Why? Point number 1, author gives 6 reasons. Number 1, niravayavanam tesham sarvatmana sanyoge pratimanupapattehe. Upapattehe is panchami, pratimanupapattehe. Because of this, it is not possible. What not possible? Paramanu arambhavadaha. Paramanus are the creator of the Jagat, that cannot be accepted. Number 1. We will see in this what it is. This is number 1, hetu. Second one, Binnayoho
भिन्नयोगो
Gavashvavat Karya Karana Bhava Ayogat.
गवाश्ववत् कार्यकारण
Bhava Ayogat. Ayogat.
अयोगात्
योगा भावा योगा
Is you have to spot. Is there or not?
Yes.
Bhava Ayogat. You are dismissing that. So Bhava Ayogat it is. This is second Ayogat. Panchami. So Bhava Ayogat. Second point. We give 6 reasons to dismiss their view. Binnayogo Gavaishvavat Karya Karana Bhava Ayogat. The third one. Purvam Asatascha
पूर्वम् असतश्च
Karyasya
कार्यस्य
Shasha Vishanavat
शशविषाणवत्
Utpatti Anupapatthe
उत्पत्ति अनुपपत्तेः
Anupapatthe Panchami. This is third reason. Purvam Asatascha Karyasya Shasha Vishanavat Utpatti Anupapatthe Anupapattehe Paramanvarambhavadaha na upapadyate. Every time you have to connect. Niravayavanam tesham sarvatmana sanyoge pratimanupapattehe Paramanvarambhavadaha na upapadyate. Then Binnayoho Gavashvavat Karyakarana Bhava Ayogat Paramanvarambhavadaha na upapadyate. Purvam asatascha karyasya sashavishanavat utpattyarupapattehe Paramanvarambhavadaha na upapadyate. Every time you have to connect, the hetus are given. These hetus we have to discuss detail. Atyanta binna karyarambhe
अत्यन्त भिन्न कार्यारम्भे
karye
कार्ये
gurutwadi dvaigunyapattehe. Not gurutwadi tadvaigunyapattehe.
गुरुत्वादि तद्वैगुण्यापत्तेः
Vaigunyam is different. Vaigunyam.
विगुण
Vigunasya bhavaha vaigunyam. Atyanta binna karyarambhe.
अत्यन्त भिन्न
Sorry,
कार्यारम्भे
we did that. Underline. Paramanu sadbhave.
परमाणुसद्भावे
Pramana bhavat.
भावात्
This is a simple reason to dismiss. Paramanu sadbhave pramana bhavat. There is no pramanam for it. Shastra pramana. Karya dravyasya
कार्यद्रव्यस्य
स्वन्यून परिमाणारब्धत्वनियमस्य
स्वन्यूनपरिमाणारब्धत्वनियमस्य
स्वन्यून
स्वन्यूनपरिमाणारब्धत्वनियमस्य स्वस्य कारणभूतस्य न्यूनपरिमाण एव कार्यं न जन्यते. We will see stula tula pindarabdhatanvat tantvat not tanvat tantvat avadarshanach
तूल
स्थूलपिण्डारब्धतन्त्वात्
अवदर्शनश्च दर्शनाश्च
no tantvat okay adarshanath only I read it wrongly. Stula okay stula tula pindarabdha
स्थूलपिण्डारब्ध
Tantwadau Adarshanat. Okay, it is Tantwadau Au plus Adarshanat Avasham. Before I did
Okay.
wrongly. It's okay. Stula Tula Pindarabda Tantwadau
स्थूलपिण्डारब्धतन्त्वादौ
Adarshanatcha.
अदर्शनाच्च
This is the sixth reason. By all this reason, what is dismissed is Nayyayika Matha is dismissed. Their contention that just Jagadharambakaha Paramanavaha is dismissed. Therefore, Jagat cannot contain in Paramanus. Then after that, Sankhya is left out. That is dismissed in the next Napi Pradhana Parinama Vadaha. Okay, this we have to discuss. We will see in the next class. But what we discussed so far, you understand, this will be the continuous discussion. You have to remember this 4 contentions among the two themselves are dismissed. Number 1, Atma Jagadharambakaha Uta Jagat Tadakara Parinami. These two are not possible. Already answer is given. Ekasya Vibhaho Chidrupasya Jada Prapancharambakatva Sambhavat Atma Jagadharambakaha Na Tadakara Parinami Tadapina Niravaya Nirvikara Chidrupasya Parinama Asambhavat. These two are dismissed. We don't have to do it. Purva Pakshi himself said and dismissed. We can take like that. Adyaha napi dutiyaha. Then Tritiyaha comes in Nayyayika's views and Chaturtaha is Sankhya views. Nayyayika view is there's 4 Paramanus are there. Rayari Jagadharambakaha Ataha Jagat Teshu Eva Tishtati. Atava Sankhya Mata if you take Pradhanam eva Jagat Karanam Jadam Tirunatmakam, that alone Jagat ka Akara Parinami. Therefore, Tatra eva this Idam Jagat Tishtati iti Natu Chidatmani. Natu Chidatmani we can connect to both Nayyayika as well as Sankhya. That these two people we are going to encounter. Answer is starts from Na Tavat. Okay, remember this so that we don't have to discuss again the whole thing. That we will see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Dhanyavadaha.
धन्यवादः
धन्यवाद सर।
धन्यवादः।